Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible. Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000 people, for the maiming of tens of thousands of children as those who survive undergo amputation without anesthesia, for the targeting of neonatal hospitals and maternity care centers, denying newborns even the chance to live, for the countless people he starved as he blocked food and humanitarian aid from reaching them, for the gunning down of hundreds of aid workers and journalists. And just last month, the UN confirmed that Palestinian children continue to be deliberately targeted and killed by Israeli armed forces, more than 8 months after the so-called ceasefire. The list goes on and on, all as we, as Americans, pay for the bombs that do the killing. There is a reason the International Criminal Court issued a warrant for his arrest. As human beings, we have spent generations building a shared understanding that there are crimes so grave they offend all of humanity. Anyone, with their eyes, with their heart, with their conscience, should recognize the devastation he has wrought and understand that he belongs before a court of law. As I've said, I agree with the ICC that Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested and tried for his crimes, as I do for anyone else charged by the ICC. My administration has reviewed every avenue available under applicable law to determine whether New York City could execute the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant if Benjamin Netanyahu came here. It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does, and I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant. And I want to be equally clear. Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City, nor is any other war criminal at large. While we cannot end the genocide on our own, we can decide whether our silence will become another weapon, and we can examine every tool we have to defend the humanity and dignity of all people. That is my commitment to you.
And that's the first official in America that actually speak out against Netanyahu and actually advocating for his arrest, which is a good thing. Now, do he have the power to do it? No, he doesn't have the power to arrest him because he's a diplomat, and diplomat in America is not under the ICC, so we have no power to really arrest him. But like he said, if the ICC works with the federal government, there's a possibility they can get him arrested. But are they going to do it? No, because we have Donald Trump in the way. Let's what you think about that, bro?
Donald blackmailed Trump.
Donald blackmailed Trump, bro.
I mean, you talking about arresting, one of the people who's behind blackmailing these politicians. Who's going to be brave enough to do it without getting exposed themselves?
Right.
If they brave enough to arrest Netanyahu, next thing you know, everybody going to wake up in the morning and there's going to be a scandal on the politician who was behind arresting Netanyahu.
Right.
Or it might wake up with a bullet in his head. Who knows? Anything, any possibilities.
Now, right. And now, being as though we know how Israel play when they being spoke out against, it's like, do Zohran have to really watch his back too? Do he has to watch his back from, Israel possibly conspiring to do something to him for speaking out?
He got to watch his back, his front, his ass, his balls. He got to watch everything.
Pause.
It ain't shit that he ain't got to watch. He got to watch every single thing.
He got to watch it all.
Going at them because you see how they play.
Exactly.
I just watched a video not too long ago where a CIA agent said that the way Israel, they got a target that runs into a building, they'll blow the whole building up for one target.
Right.
They don't care who's in there. So that just goes to show you right there, like what type of people these imbeciles are.
We're dealing with. Facts. These devils, these organized crime syndicates, these devils, all these freaking devils. So, oh shoot, hold on. I'm trying to get back to the screen. Where was that? All right, so we have Donald Trump responding to Zohran. I call him Zohran and shit. I don't know. I guess that's his name, right?
Zohran.
This his name, Zohran. All right, so this is Trump responding on, what's his app called again? Truth something. What is it called? His shit called again? Well, this is Trump responding on his platform. He says Benjamin Netanyahu will not be arrested in any way, shape, or form while in the United States of America. He is fighting against Islamic Republic of Iran, which recently killed over 52,000 innocent protesters, as he said, and has spent the last 47 years killing American soldiers and others. Let me go back to that. Hold on, because it kind of switched.
They blew up elementary. They blew up
The
Israel and the
only
United States blew up an elementary school in Iran. What is he talking about?
Yeah, he says the only one that should be arrested are the people that led Iran into this unprecedented unprecedented spiral death and destruction, something that should have been dealt with years ago by previous presidents. So this is Trump saying that Netanyahu will not be arrested based off the fact that he's fighting against Iran, which this shit is all scripted. Like you said, bro, in your video, this shit is a scam. This shit is all a political script. Um, you might have some officials that don't want to go along with. Maybe Zohran don't want to go along with Trump and Ben Netanyahu with this whole shit, and he really do want to get him arrested because we, the American people, should want this goddamn Netanyahu, Trump, all these niggas arrested for the war crimes they committing right now.
I
Taking our
honestly feel like these politicians don't give a shit. Only reason why he's probably saying this is because he's getting pressure from the people who voted for him.
yeah,
See, you might have the people who voted for him calling him up, going to his office saying, "Oh, we know Netanyahu's coming to New York. You need to get him arrested." And you got to think, but they still got to play the part for the people who voted for them. They got to play. They got to play the part. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think majority of these politicians, if not all, they don't give two shits. They don't care as long as them and their family is still eating. They do whatever they need to do. And
right,
unfortunately, behind the scenes in politics, Israel's running shit because they got a whole bunch of Epstein operations going on where they blackmailing people, paying
yeah,
some politicians off, blackmailing others, and doing both, and possibly threatening them. Because you got to
right.
think about it. Israel is moving like the mafia out here. Mafia and the Nazis
I
mixed
agree.
together.
Right,
A Nazi
bro.
mafia. That's how they moving out here. A Nazi terrorist mafia. They all three in one.
Yeah, Nazi
Mafia,
terrorists.
terrorists, and
Yeah,
yep. Mafia, Nazis,
traffickers
and terrorism. Yep.
and
Yep.
sex traffickers.
Well, that's part of the
And this,
organized crime side.
right? Yeah. Now this is the major thing that they trying to still pull off. This right here, what they trying to merge our military with their military the beginning of 2027.
Drawing down of foreign aid from the United States to Israel be compensated by
Let me know if y'all
the
can hear that.
proposal to have a merging
Yep.
of some sort between our Pentagon and your military?
Yeah, I'm calling it from aid to partnership. So we take away the money that is given to Israel, which is one part, but the other part is we co-invest in equal measures in the new technologies that are needed to give our military and your military the advantage. So there are some unbelievable projects. So we invest jointly and take the fruits equally. You move from aid to partnership, and I think that represents what Israel is. And remember, the other thing is that we share with America unbelievable intelligence to save American life. General Keegan has said that when he was working in American intelligence.
Drawing down.
So he basically saying no more sending, no more. America don't have to send the billions of dollars to them anymore. But let's just partner up with our military and let's emerge of militaries. Basically, that's what they want to do.
So they can start taking over our cities one by one and turn each city into the Gaza Strip, starting with L.A., New York.
New York, yep. Escape from L.A., escape from New York.
Yep, because that's exactly what they're going to do because that's their track record. If we allow Israel to basically integrate into our military, that's exactly they're going to turn against American citizens the same way they did Palestine. It is guaranteed. And they're going to use all of our resources. They're going to use our tax dollars and our technology to do it. That's why they got all these cameras and everything set up around here. They got technology that can hack into our cell phones just by driving up the neighborhood. They can, well, they've been doing that for at least 2 decades. They can hack
Yeah.
into your cell phone and see everywhere you went, everybody you've talked to, and they just going to take over the United States. That's what's going to end up
Right.
happening.
Right.
And it's going to be the duty of the veterans. It's going to be the duty of the military, of American military, American troops to resign from the military and join the people. It's going to be their duty because I'm going to be honest with you. Israel is a terrorist organization. Simple as that. If they join our military, it's going to be completely. It's going to be so much terrorism in the United States done by them, and they going to say, "Oh, well, we able to do it because it's signed into law." As soon as because people already say, "Well, they already integrated with us." Yeah, but
No,
once
they're
they
not.
get that on paper, the same thing they did in Palestine, they're going to turn New York. They're going to turn uptown to the goddamn Gaza Strip. Trust that. You better trust that.
Right.
Harlem gonna look just like Palestine. Do you understand?
Yep.
Manhattan is gonna look
And then,
exactly like Palestine if
and you know,
if Israel integrated with our military, and that's a fact. That's 100% fact.
but
Because
then, but then
they do it. That's what they do.
yeah, but then that's going to make yeah, exactly, and then that's going to make America a target of all the other countries that Israel have smoked with, which we already, you know what I mean? Like the diplomacy go out the window, like because it's not a lot of people, a lot of countries that's really backing this Israel shit right now. So, like you said, if we used to integrate our military with them, then yeah, we gonna have an issue on our hands. We definitely gonna have a big issue on our
Yeah, we
hands
gonna
from
implode
other
from the
countries.
inside.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we already got a problem with other countries because we already
yeah,
backing them. So whatever enemies we would have, it wouldn't even matter because other countries already see the United States and Israel's integrated.
yeah.
The reason why they want to get that on paper in the United States because then they legally be able to send Israeli troops into our cities. That's what we have to focus on. It don't even matter if because other countries already view the United States as the enemy because we working with Israel. So whatever they do then they could do now.
Yeah,
But once they get that on paper, once Congress and all them, Supreme Court and all that say that the final say is that Israel's integrated with the United States military, they are going to be in our cities taking over.
yeah. Well, that's cute.
Fucking
Well, that's fucking cute.
guaranteed.
That's cute.
Guaranteed.
That's cute for American citizens to wake up and start arresting them. Citizens arresting them bastards after that. Like you commit.
Nah, we
That's
can't even
treason.
let it happen. We can't even let
Yeah,
it
that's
happen. We
treason.
can't. It's no. We can't even let it happen. That's the thing.
Fucking
We
treason.
cannot let that bill go through with them being able to integrate their military into ours. We could, because it would be
Oh, that nigga need to
impossible
be
to
arrested.
remove them. Because
Yeah,
that
it's
means they're
irreversible. Right.
gonna openly integrate our systems. They are already secretly doing it. The shit that they doing now is really high treason. So that what they trying to do,
That's
they
what I just
trying to
said.
sign something into law to where it's not high treason anymore. Even though technically it's still high treason,
They
even if
trying to
they
make
try
it
to sign it
irreversible.
into law. They
Yeah.
trying to make it on paper so they can blatantly send troops, Israeli troops into our inner cities. And they're already doing it because a lot of them ICE motherfuckers is Israeli troops.
That's what I was thinking too. That's what I was thinking, like, because they just hiring these ICE motherfuckers out of nowhere, right?
Bro,
That's what I'm thinking. Like
majority of
these
them
people are
majority of them is
foreign.
Israeli,
Yeah, I'm
bro.
thinking like some of them people came in. A lot of them people that came in through the border when the motherfucking Biden dumbass opened the border up. Trump employed a lot of these motherfuckers as ICE employees.
And they were Israelis. Yep.
It was Israelis that I think is a mixture though. I think it's a mixture of Israelis and Venezuelans and all these different people, to be honest. So this is Israel answering back to the mayor and whoever else they trying to address that want to arrest this nigga Netanyahu. I also got a video of Netanyahu speaking on other countries and shit that he got smoked with. I'm gonna pull that video up too. So let's get into this.
Israel's UN ambassador just fired back at the mayor of New York and sends a massive warning.
Who should be arrested is not our prime minister. Is you, Mr. Mamdani.
Oh,
So let me make it very clear.
Shots
Prime Minister
fired.
Netanyahu will come to New York. He will stand at this very podium.
Oh,
He will speak for the state of Israel. He will defend the people of Israel. And there is nothing you can do to stop him.
whoa.
So these niggas saying ain't shit you could do to stop it. Well, Trump just said it ain't no green light on him. So he's saying no matter what Mamdani say, yeah, he ain't allowed in New York. He's saying Mamdani saying he ain't allowed in New York. But what the fuck he gonna do about it though? Unless Mamdani trying to strong arm some shit. Now if he on some strong arm shit and really, you know what I'm saying, and really about that life, then yeah. But if he just talking and he ain't about that life, then what's the point?
He's
'Cause
only talking because the people who put him in off the voters and the people there, they
yeah,
put pressure. You gotta see the type of pressure that US citizens put on a lot of these politicians,
right,
especially the ones who really believe in voting and going out there and doing this. And what they don't realize, it don't matter how much you vote, how much pressure you put on these politicians, they still gonna bow down to Israel because Israel is blackmailing them. Until we
yeah,
deal with this Epstein shit, it's going to continue because
yeah. That's the problem.
they don't want they
Right,
mess aired out on national television. They don't want that they was out there sleeping around with kids or they out there doing everything opposite of what their image say that they do on national TV. They don't want
yeah,
any of that out there. So that's what we have to realize. That's why voting don't matter, because you got people like Epstein out here and you
right.
got APAC and all them. That's why voting don't matter. We be trying to tell people that, and they just think that, oh, you just don't. You don't trust the
You
system.
can't
And
vote your
you're supposed to
problems away.
trust the
Yeah,
system, and you got to vote for the right person to do the right
man.
things. They never
You
going to
can't.
do the right things
Nah.
because they're being blackmailed behind the scene, being paid off, or being threatened by nations like Israel and creeps like Epstein.
Yeah, these type of problems can't be voted away.
Nope.
Only way you can be able to vote these problems away if you start financially pulling back, because they lose their support if they, because most of their support comes from the people. They extract all
Mm-hmm. Yep.
the slave labor and the money. They extract all the energy and money from the people. So if the people start pulling back, that's the only way really to fight these people off is start pulling back financially. If millions of people say, listen, we ain't paying the government shit, we ain't paying no taxes, what they gonna do about it? They ain't got no jail cells to hold everybody. They ain't got enough people to, but that would have to come from the people staying together though.
People
You know
ain't
what I'm
gonna do
saying?
that. People
People
is
ain't gonna
too.
do that.
They got us too stuck in our routines.
Yep, and they know that. They know that. That's
We're too
why.
stuck in our. We don't
Right.
know how to. We don't know where to start to get out of it. And we don't know
Yeah.
how to come together because our system was built on division.
Yeah.
The system was
Facts.
built on the citizens being divided and on the politicians being united.
Right.
But
Right.
but
Right.
pretending like they're divided for the media.
Right.
They
Absolutely.
pretend like they're divided just so they can have red versus blue. But behind
Right.
the scene is purple. You know what I'm
Yeah, because
saying? It's
red and
purple
blue makes
behind the
purple.
scene. Yeah, it's
Right.
purple behind the scene, but they want to make us believe that it's red versus blue. That's just to
Right.
keep us divided. That's why the people can't come together and make these type of decisions. Because some people were just scared. Like because they got a lot of people one paycheck away from being homeless. That's majority of Americans is one paycheck away from being homeless, bro.
Right.
And then when you get people in that survival mode, like it's barely, they feel powerless. Like, oh, this system is just way too powerful for us to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Not realizing collectively you can get things done. Like you said, the majority of people pull their money back, their taxes back. Stop fucking with these corporations who are also part of the government. We pull all of our resources back. then yeah, they could. It's a possibility they could collapse because the people ain't giving them their energy, their currency anymore.
Right.
And that's what it's really about. But people collectively are just not going to do that.
Yeah, yeah, it's
People
not
are
gonna
more
happen.
interested, distracted by other things, too.
Yeah, but then
I
they
mean,
keeping everybody working. Like if and then another thing is financially they putting a strain
that's what
on
I
people.
said.
Period. Right. Right.
One paycheck away from being
Yeah.
homeless. Yeah,
So people like they don't really know how to really fight this shit because financially it's like how really
and
when
and it's back what I
'cause
said in my
it would
video. This
take
fake financial system is
yeah
what's
because
killing us.
it would have to take actually resources coming together to really combat this shit, and it's just not enough people to coming together to really combat this because I think people looking at it, you know, it's too much people looking at it in a division eyes and there's a vision mindset like oh we got to look out for this we got to look out for us and they got to look out for them or this group over here just got to look out for themselves but I'm telling you what happens and how you can really combat this shit is when cultures start joining each other no matter where the fuck background type of background or culture you come from when people start actually seeing the common goal and
Hmm.
combine the resources that's the only way that shit gonna work but right now
Facts.
we just too divided two people is too divided you know what I'm
Yep.
saying people everybody trying to stay to themselves and shit and it's like a dog eat dog world and shit
Because that's
you
how we train. People are more in competition with each other than they are in
know
coming
yeah
together.
right
Like you got whole neighborhoods where neighbors are competing. Like
exactly
this neighbor yard got to look better than that neighbor's yard. This neighbor's
right
car got to look better than that neighbor's car. Like it's like you got
yeah
that type of mindset going on while the politicians is stealing like a motherfucker from everybody. And then I don't rather you red or blue. You should be against the Israeli military integrating with the U.S. military.
yeah
Well, we all should be coming together and saying no on that, no matter what political party you're a part of. And the fact that that's not happening on a grand scale to the point where the mainstream media ain't ignoring it, that goes to show you where we at in this country. This shit is over,
right
y'all. It's
shit is
done.
done
It's done. Once they integrate those militaries, I'm telling you right now, the United States is going to become a war zone. It is going because I'm telling you, this is what I believe that's happening. I believe that the United States is about to crumble financially, economically, 100% to the point where not even American can afford a loaf of bread anymore. And they want to have these data centers and smart cities in place to be able to place people. And they're going to need an outside military to come in to be able to make those changes because they know a lot of the stuff that's going to have to take place in America. Our own troops, most of our own troops ain't going to want to do that at home. The type of orders that they're going to get once this collapse happened in the United States, our own troops are not going to want to follow any of those orders. So they want to make sure Israeli military, along with advanced technology and defense systems, is in place when this collapse happened. And Trump is there to make sure that deal go through. He's
yeah
that's why he's able to bully the IRS, which is fake, because the IRS is really Israel, because the IRS is owned by the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. Rothschilds and Rockefellers own Israel. They're the Zionists that own Israel. So our own IRS, our own federal tax system in our country is already owned by the same people who's behind Israel. That's one fact we have to understand. So they already like, all right, we need a military outside of the United States to come in to be able to manage this situation when this economic collapse happened in the United States. Because they planning on pulverizing the US dollar.
yeah because
The
you gotta
US
think about
dollar
it
ain't
the
gonna be
soldiers
worth
ain't gonna want to
shit.
do it the
Yeah,
soldiers ain't
our
gonna
own
want to do it
right.
like our own soldiers because that's too home that hits
Too
home
close
with
to
the
home. Yeah.
yeah so they're gonna need to bring in
Outside military.
outsource
They
right
don't trust China because they feel like if they let China come in here and do it, China will take over everything, including them.
yeah like
So they're
China
like,
took over some parts of Africa and
right?
shit
They
with
they
they
they don't want China to
financial
do it. They don't want. Uh, they damn sure don't want Russia to do it. They ain't gonna want any of those superpowers to come over here
No.
to manage this situation in the United States. So what they do, they're gonna use Israeli troops mixed with
Right.
a certain amount of U.S. military troops who would do that shit at home. Because I ain't gonna say all of them won't, because there's still a lot of U.S. military troops who would do those types of shit, the type of operations that they're gonna be running at home that, you know, that's gonna be very detrimental to Americans. Some of them will do it. It's just like with the Nazi shit. We was just following orders. And you're
Yeah.
gonna have a lot of troops that's not going to follow through with orders, because once that economic, do you understand what happens when that economic collapse happened in the United States? How that's going to affect, like, everything is going to collapse, like that. We're going to be cut off from majority of all of our resources. It's going to be martial law, which means the military is going to have control over all the major resources, your water, your electric, everything that runs the whole grid, transportation. And the type of shit that they're going to do to have to manage, because there's so many Americans here, 300 million Americans, and then they're going to divvy out everything. Just think how they're going to have to manage that situation. Whatever military manages that situation, the orders that's going to be sent to them to do certain things, because it's going to be so many people. If y'all know how hard it is to manage millions of people in a crisis, especially when you're cutting off vital resources. That means they're gonna have to eliminate majority of us, and they know that United States troops are not going to do that. They know that the U.S. troops are not going to do that, so they need an outside arm. That's why they want to integrate our army, our military, with Israel's military, because they know Israel military, they know they will carry out those orders without even thinking about it. And they already getting practice and learning our major cities through ICE. Because I'm telling y'all right now, majority of those fucking ICE agents are Israeli, bro.
Israeli intelligence.
The I in ICE is Israel.
Israel.
Yeah,
so
the I in ICE, bro.
So what ICE stand for? Intelligent. Israel. I don't even know the fucking would it be
what,
the fucking
Israeli Central? Israeli
Central. And
give us something for E. Israeli Central Entrapment or some shit. Who knows?
Some shit like that.
But just know that I in ICE is Israeli.
All right, so they plan on doing this shit globally, right? Because this video right here, this is a 2018 video from APAC where this Netanyahu nigga spoke at. So you know the Israel it says during the speech Netanyahu presented a world map illustrating countries establishing diplomatic ties with Israel, remarking that Israel coloring the world blue. He asserted that nations lacking diplomatic ties with Israel will ultimately face isolation. Direct addressing movements calling for boycotts against Israel by standing. He said, we'll boycott them. So this is this nigga talking about. So this is some global. They plan on doing this shit globally. Let me play this video real quick. So this is Netanyahu speaking at APAC.
Yikes.
Kazakhstan, all of them. Azerbaijan, Muslim countries.
And
first time I visited
all the Muslim countries.
Far away though. So we're coloring the world blue. And you know what? The numbers, you remember people talked about Israel's isolation? Remember that?
Look where he's trying to take over all
isolation. Pretty soon, the countries that don't have relations with us, they're going to be isolated. There are those who talk about boycotting Israel. We'll boycott them.
You always got these pricks trying to take over the world.
All right.
Mongolia.
Why every age on Earth always got these pricks that's just trying to take over the world?
Right.
Why? Why do people always have to try to take over the world? Why?
The nigga said Mongolian, Pakistan, like all those countries right there in blue is where they trying to target and take over. Yep.
The arrogance.
Yeah, the arrogance, right. Right. What you say, residents, you said U.S. law enforcement agencies, including some federal states and local agencies have participated in exchanges for training programs, Israeli security officials.
Yep.
Yeah, they definitely did. Yeah, they've been doing that shit for a
Yeah,
long
this shit,
time too.
because they've been preparing for this.
Right.
They've been preparing for this integration of the U.S. military and the United States military and
Yep.
our local law enforcement.
No,
They've been
that's important.
preparing for this for decades now,
Yeah.
since the 60s, since the 50s, 40s and 50s, tell you the truth.
Since the 40s, yeah, because you gotta think about like when Zionist movement
Well, they
started. 48.
1948, 19
Yeah.
for but they've been, yeah, because you could technically say since the early 1900s when the Federal Reserve took over our banking system and our economy.
Yep.
Because you got to realize the people who started the Federal Reserve banks and all the central banks around the world are the same people who's behind Israel. So
Israel, right.
that's what people have
That's
to remind
Rothschild.
themselves when you talk about, because people just thinking about Israel as, the state of Israel, but you got to think about who's behind them. And like we keep
Yeah,
telling y'all,
where's the source of
the
the money
banking
coming from? Right. Who's funding it?
cartels are behind them. The banking cartels are the ones who started the state of Israel and Palestine. They the ones that funded the Nazis in World War II and
Yeah.
used banks in America the Bank of America and JP Morgan to hide Nazi money inside the United States.
Yeah.
That's what y'all have
So
to, like, you could do this. This is public record, y'all. This is public record.
so peep
Oh,
this. So peep this. So Trump is trying to trying to stop the whole uranium thing with Iran, right? The whole uranium, Iran's trying to build nuclear weapons and such, right? So why he just give Saudi Arabia clearance to to build uranium sources over there in Saudi Arabia. He just basically struck a deal with them with that shit. Let's play this real quick.
President Trump has reportedly approved a deal that would allow the Saudis to build a uranium enrichment facility, something that they have been wanting to do for decades. According to multiple reports this morning, the agreement is expected to last 30 years and is worth billions of dollars, money that could go to American companies. According to the Wall Street Journal, which first reported this deal, American companies would provide nuclear technology and then play a central role in building Saudi Arabia's nuclear infrastructure. Now, Saudi Arabia is a U.S. ally. It has long wanted to develop its own nuclear program in order to build up its electric grid. And according to reports, Trump officials believe that this new deal is a way for the U.S. to prevent Riyadh from misusing the enriched uranium for military purposes. President Trump has faced scrutiny for his family's business ties with the Saudis for years. In April, the House Judiciary Committee started investigating Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner's company, which has received billions of dollars in foreign investments from Gulf countries, including Saudi Arabia. Of course, this is all playing out as the United States is waging war against Iran to stop that country from building up its own nuclear program. The U.S. continued its strikes on Iran for the 11th straight night last night. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told lawmakers yesterday that the war has cost U.S. taxpayers nearly $40 billion so far, and he asked for $67 billion more. Now, this agreement with Saudi Arabia isn't formal yet. Congress would need to review it, and the deal could face strong opposition from some lawmakers who worry about boosting nuclear capabilities anywhere in the Middle East. President Trump.
You see that bullshit? You see that?
because it ain't that, because none of these individuals are righteous. That's why. So all you're going to have is shit built on hypocrisy. That's it. The fact that Congress will even consider reviewing it rather than shutting it down and basically investigating whoever's behind it, that goes to show you right there where their mindset is at. Like we're not going to expect any of these scumbags to be righteous with anything.
Exactly.
Just notice everything that they do is wicked as hell. It's not going to be nothing but that. These demons, these are all we're expecting demons. We are expecting demons to do the right thing and not be hypocrites.
So they're striking a deal. So
Israel is a hypocrite too because they got nuclear weapons, but Iran ain't allowed to have them.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
see, United States got nuclear weapons, but
It's just
Iran ain't allowed to have them.
it's because Iran is not bowing down to the they don't want to be a part of, the blue. They don't want to be turned blue. As Netanyahu said, they trying to turn these countries blue. Iran is not one of the countries that's going along with it. So now they got to wage war against Iran. Financially, they got to wage war against them. Physically, they want to wage war against them. They're using the propaganda machines to prop them up as the boogeymen of the world and shit. Yeah, so that's all it is. Because Iran don't want to get down to lay down with their agenda, and that's basically what it is.
These are obvious crooks. And the
Facts.
thing is, people are starting to see through it. But it goes back to people still feeling powerless and still feeling, and still being cowards and still
Yeah.
feeling powerless. That's what it
Right.
really boils. But you got a lot of people who are still outraged about all of this. Because first
Right.
of all, we wasting all these resources in Iran for what? The United States is wasting all these resources in Iran just so Trump and his family can be rich,
Yeah, that's all it's
and so
about.
they can help Israel take over the whole Middle East. Israel and Saudi Arabia take over the whole Middle East, so they can implement the Zionist movement throughout the whole Middle East.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it's about. They
That's
want to.
exactly what it is.
That's all it's about, and it ain't about democracy. It's really
No.
about Zionism, where
Yeah,
they
how
where
they
they where they
right.
become oligarchs of the world, where they just able to basically put everybody in his digital system and be able to tell everybody what to do, while they get to live above the system as and proclaim themselves as God. That's basically what they want.
Yeah, because
That's
all
what
they
all
doing
that
is
shit's
really
added up to.
yeah, they trying to expand the territory where, like you said, when they build new infrastructure, they need all new territory too. So they're playing on, and so now that's why you had Prince Charles talking about we going forward with the real ID and all that. He had a whole speech after meet with Trump, went back over there, and it
Here
had
come
a
the
whole.
agents.
Yep, here come the real ID. He want the whole real ID. You said some agents in here?
Yeah, here come an agent in here.
Fucking agent, Frankie. So the real ID, so he's pushing the real ID thing because that's what they're trying to do globally anyway. I mean, we just presented the facts. They want to make the whole world blue. Israel, Netanyahu just did a whole speech back in 2018 over there in APAC and said, these are the countries we want to turn blue. So, and that's what they're working on now. They're working on taking these territories over so they can further build their infrastructure. That's what it's all about. That's all it's about. That's all it's about. What else is going to be about really? They moving into a whole different type of digital system, and they need territory, and they want the territory, and so they can build new infrastructure. That's all. That's all it is in a nutshell. It's nothing else. Or why you think all the tech companies dumped all their money into into this new AI evolution? That's all it's about.
And they use whatever name they need to use. They use whatever name they need to use to pull this off, because they Israelis one day, but in the past they were Nazis. Because the same people who's behind the Nazi movement is the same people who funded the Israeli state. They take on whatever image that they need to take on to accomplish their mission. That's what we have to understand. Like like when you people keep saying Israel, 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 like they the original Israel that's talked about in the scriptures, when they not.
No, no, hell no. These are
This is
Zionists.
Zionist
Nin-
state,
1948 state that was set up by the
right?
White House. That's it. Yeah.
These people aren't real Jews. These people are not even real Jews. These Zionists are not real Jews.
Yeah, because they wasn't really flying that star. They wasn't really flying that Israeli flag before the Zionist movement. They ain't start that. That's when they start flying that Israeli flag. And now all Jews is down with the Zionists. You have Orthodox Jews that's not down with that movement. Unorthodox Jews that's not down with that
Just
movement.
like you have some Christians who ain't down with the Catholics.
Yeah, they ain't down with the Catholics or yup.
Yep. I mean,
So
it's the same shit, but and the thing is, a lot of it is just false religion anyway.
yeah,
It's false religion.
you're right. You don't have like you have Islamics that ain't down with the you know, is down with the motherfucking the little terrorist groups they have set up. All the different terrorist organizations and shit they have set up. Taliban and all them type of motherfuckers.
Yep, they behind all of them too.
Yup.
They was behind the Al Qaeda shit because they
Al
already said
Qaeda, yup.
they was behind
Taliban, Al
all of that
Qaeda,
shit.
all that shit.
All of it. They're behind all of it.
Yeah, those are cells set up by, and intelligence, like central intelligence and shit like that.
That's all
Those
they are.
those the people they use when they want to go after certain groups and certain world leaders they want to take out of power. Like they use the Taliban for the Cold War and shit.
Exactly.
They use certain groups to take out motherfucking Gaddafi. And then pretty much Obama spearheaded that shit because they needed a segue to go into Africa to get Gaddafi. They bring about Obama to say, yeah, they got this guy with African roots. His dad's from Africa, and they needed that whole African scam to basically segue their ass up into Africa so they can go after
That's just
motherfucking
all political theater
yeah.
and then staging a coup.
Yep.
Political theater to stage a coup.
Yeah, they don't like when people want to separate themselves from the agenda. Like Muammar Gaddafi had the whole gold standard shit set up. They ain't like that because it wasn't supporting the euro, wasn't supporting the dollar. He was trying to basically unite Africa under a gold standard to basically shut all them other motherfuckers out, and they ain't like that. So they had to send somebody there to take them out. Basically used his own people against him and shit. Yep.
Yeah, he was basically enriching the people that was in his country.
Yeah.
He
He
was
was trying to
actually
start like an African Union and shit. He
because
was trying to
the fact that
yeah,
he put them on a gold standard would mean their money would be worth more than everybody's money.
facts. And he was trying to create a whole African Union backing that, where the gold can back these certain countries that had resources and would have empowered basically a lot of the African land over there. A lot of the African countries over there would have been empowered, and then they would have been like the head of the resources in the world where everybody would have to come to. America, Europe, you know what I'm saying? All these places will have to come to them for the resources. And they seen what Gaddafi was doing. They said, hell no, we can't have this shit happen. And so that shows you what they'll do against anybody that comes against them. They assassinate presidents, they take out world leaders, they do whatever they have to do to keep the agenda going. And anybody opposed to that, with this Netanyahu thing that just said at APAC. They want to protest us, we'll protest them. And dumb shit like that.
Yeah, they definitely on some takeover type of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely on some takeover shit. World domination.
Yep.
World domination. They want to expand. They want to expand. They want to build new infrastructure all over the world, all over the globe, where they can control the programming and all the AI technology, where they program it to basically run the world on autonomous, where they could just sit back and watch the world work while they in underground bunkers watching from fucking big ass screens and shit like that.
And it's all in the National Defense Bill.
It is
The
right.
National Defense Act bill. It's all in there of why they want to integrate with the United States military and how they want to basically, integrate artificial intelligence into the defense system. And actually experiment more with direct energy weapons and all that type of stuff, and drones and all of that. It's all in the Defense Act. That's what they've been trying to get through. And you gotta think about it, once they have that type of control, where they actually control these data centers, and these data centers is producing these robots, these humanoid robots, these drones that got direct energy weapons attached to them. This shit is over. It's got, and the
Right.
thing is, what they dealing with shit that can turn against them.
Yeah, exactly.
They starting to experiment with shit that can become uncontrollable to the point where it's just going to be eliminating everybody and everything.
Absolutely.
These people, I'm gonna be honest with you, these people are madmen.
Look at this shit.
And their mindset is we destroy the whole planet if we can't if we can't get our agenda through. We can't get our agenda through. We can't accomplish our goals. We rather destroy the whole planet. If we can't take control of this planet, no one can. That's their mindset.
Look at this shit. This is a prime example right here of families sold 17,000 acres of Pennsylvania farmland to data centers developers for 586 million. Now that's what I'm saying. Like people, they'll offer these people that much just so they can sell their fucking land. They'll
You know how
overpay.
fucking dumb.
They will overpay people just so they can get the land, bro.
You know how dumb we are to allow this shit to happen.
Yeah,
Like one of the main things that people should be protecting is our food source.
fact.
Farmers should be protected. For us to allow some shit like this to go down, this goes to show you where we at. This shit is over, y'all. This proves it. This shit is over. But now people care more about, celebrity gossip and sports. They pay more attention to that shit than this. Until till the Doritos run out. To the to the Doritos and the nachos and the bear, all the hot dogs and all, so all that shit run out. Then they gonna be looking at. Then they gonna be paying attention to shit like this.
Well, when
1,700
they
acres of Pennsylvania farmland being sold to data center developers. That once the shit run out, once the bread run out, and the circuses start to die down, then people is going to be worried about stuff like this. When this should have been a priority in the first place. But no, they want to know what their favorite reality TV celebrity is doing and what sports players is doing and who's going to win the next game. And as long as they got their fucking nachos, they soft pretzels and they pizza and that shit. Long as that's still flowing, that it's all good.
See, they put so much pressure on our farmers and basically tax them out of business and put so much financial restraint on them. Now they come in with offers to to buy their land for 10, 20 times what it's worth, just so they can build these data centers. This is all deliberate. This is all deliberately done to basically put the financial strain on America so we can submit. That's all what's happening.
This shit is over.
That's what's happening.
This shit is over. 1,700 acres of Pennsylvania farmland is being turned into data centers.
It says an aggressive land rush for AI data centers is making some overnight millionaires at a cost of America's farmland. It says Salem Township, Pennsylvania, a quiet agriculture community, has undergone historic financial windfall with 96 families collectively selling 1,700 acres of farmland to data centers developers and staggering 586 million. See, they not going to want to turn that down. That how much because they ain't never going to see this much money in their life. So these companies are deliberately they got the money to do it. That's why all the money in tech, they dumped all the money into the tech operations. Like BlackRock, if you look at the top 10 accounts on BlackRock, they're all tech companies. So all the money is in the tech companies. So they have $500 million.
And these people are being scammed.
Yeah, $500 million is pocket money to them.
But these people are being scammed because that $586 million, how much is it going to be worth by 2030?
Exactly.
Because they're collapsing the economy. The American dollar ain't going to be worth shit. They got 586 million American dollars. By 2030, 2035, that's not going to be worth shit.
Ain't worth shit. They would actually have to leave the country.
People don't even understand what's happening.
Right.
the reason why they giving people all this money because they know in the very near future it's not going to be worth
Ain't worth
anything.
nothing. So it says, driven by the tech industry, it said the demand high voltage electricity and fiber optics networks to power artificial intelligence. These deals average over 6 million per family. Damn,
That's
6
true.
million per family.
That's true. They don't need. Somebody said they don't need your taxes. They need your participation in fair facts
Facts.
because
Yeah.
they create the money. They don't need your taxes for real.
Nope.
Hell no.
Nope.
The money is fake. Yeah, they
Yep.
don't. They just want our participate in fair. Yeah, that's
They
exactly
say
what
money.
it is. That's the whole
Right.
system right there in a nutshell.
Yeah, money
Wrapped
is for the
up.
slave. Money is for the slaves. It's for the slave workers. That's it. All right. So it says from some like David and I guess Marley. I guess that name is Khalidi, who received 22 million for their 89 acres hog farm after decades of financial struggle. And see, that's what I'm telling you. They putting the strain on these farmers so they couldn't
Facts.
sell. And that was
Facts.
the whole point where they basically was taxing these farmers up to
It's the
kazoo,
regulation. Yeah, they do
or
it through
destroy
regulation.
right or destroying a lot of their a lot of their like the
Their
beef and
cattle and their
the raw
crops.
milk, raw milk and shit like that. It was making them, making them get rid of it, destroying it and
They
shit.
come with all these so-called diseases that the cattle is getting, and they kill all the cattle, even if
Yep.
there's no real disease that's affecting the cattle. They make one
Yeah.
up and go on the farms and start killing all their cattle, so the farmers won't be able to make that money, so they lose all that profit. Yeah,
Yeah.
all this was planned.
So that's what I said. Like
Yeah,
that's what
all
I'm
this
saying.
is
They put
planned. These people are
financial
treacherous.
strain. It says the buyout represents generational security and traditional farming could never provide. Say yet the massive scale of these transactions signals a profound, it says, a prominent shift in the landscape as pastures, uh, it said, are slated by the replace of windowless data warehouses, substations, and cooling towers. Said a rapid conversion of the farmland highlights a growing national tension between immediate economic gain and long-term community characters. While local governments often welcome data center, and it's the thing, our local politicians and our governments are selling us out for these data centers because they're actually being paid off millions of dollars as well. So we're being sold out completely to these tech companies. It says welcome data centers and substantial property tax revenues, which require minimum public service compared to residential developments. Residents face significant long-term trade-offs. The massive computing hubs placing immense demands in local electricity grids and water supplies, while neighbors must brace for years of construction noise, increased heavy traffic, and erosion of their rural heritage. It says, and the tech companies continue their aggressive search for infrastructure. The land communities nationwide and left debating the true cost and trading agriculture routes. You said as a piece of the AI boom. Yeah, that's the thing too. These people have to live around, like the residents have to live around all this fucking noise from the data centers,
Oh,
all the
trust me, they not gonna be there.
suction of
They gonna
water.
lose they gonna lose their homes because the cost of energy
You
is
ain't gonna
gonna be
force them
so
to sell.
high
Right.
in that area, and plus the water and everything is gonna be so contaminated
It's gonna force them to
that
sell.
it's gonna force them out anyway, and then
Yeah.
the corporations is just gonna expand because their whole goal is to us not being able to have any access to food
Yeah.
and clean water. That's why they're working on the technology of creating food in a laboratory. That's why they want Beyond Meats and all that shit. They want to be able to make big vats of meats and vegetables directly from the laboratory to where they don't need any farmland. Then they be able to dominate and control our food supply 100% while the data centers is surveilling us. Because they're going to have an alternative, for food source because as you can see, they're targeting farmland. They targeting farmland. So it's like, all right,
Yep.
all the farmland is gone and it's all data centers. How the fuck we gonna get food? Well,
Exactly.
they working on that. Lab grown fruits and
Fruit.
vegetables and lab grown meat.
And their whole alternative too is their whole objective is to force people into designated areas. So they know with them taking over certain parts of the land, it's going to force people out. It's going to force people into designated areas that where they want to force us into where it's going to be highly controlled. So you got to understand what's happening there. They're doing a lot of shit at once, and it's all adding up to basically rob the,
Enslavement.
rob
Enslavement,
the
bro.
people and rob the people, put us in slavery, and we have to basically submit,
One of the worst skills that we lost as a people is our ability to
survival.
homestead.
Yeah, homestead facts.
Homesteading, because before this whole American dream, picket fence shit, people were homesteading. People had their own source of animals and had their own, little patch of land to where they had their little goats and their little chickens, making their own eggs, making their own cheese from the goat milk, and their own doing all that shit, growing their own fruits and their own seasonal vegetables and fruits. Most of us has lost that ability. Like the general
Yeah,
public have lost that ability to do that. Now we're dependent on corporations. A lot of the young kids don't even know where the fuck they food come from. They just think it comes from the grocery store in the package, not realizing majority of the shit gotta grow on the farm. That's another reason why the farms aren't being protected, because the people have lost the education on how food is even, developed. Like people don't realize how food is even developed. They think the people automatically think that it just all comes from the grocery store. And I ain't saying everybody, but it's a big percentage that really don't know how food is grown. They
right,
they really don't know. And that was a plan even in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s, and it really took off once they got a hold of our financial system through the Federal Reserve banking system and the central banks, and then they took over our education system.
right.
So and then the industrial revolution ticked off. Because before all of that, people really owned a little patch of land and they took care of their own animals, and they didn't have to depend on the grocery store 100% for everything. Since we lost that ability, now we're going to be enslaved to these corporations, because a lot of just think about 30, 40 years from now, the way things are going. Majority of people ain't even going to have land to even practice homesteading on. The kids ain't even going to know about farming at all. They
Hell
just
no.
going to naturally think shit comes from a laboratory. Like,
Exactly.
and then the people who control the food that's coming from the laboratory. First of all, the food that's coming from the laboratory ain't nutritious at all. So they're going to shorten our lifespans even more than they already are.
Right.
Lifespan's going to be shorter than the motherfucker eating lab grown meat and lab grown fruits
Yeah,
and
because where's the
vegetables.
nutrients coming in
And,
at?
and a lot of lab grown meat is grown from cancer cells. Y'all should do the research on that, and how they grow lab grown meats. With them big ass vats, and they put stem cells and cancer cells inside the vats to basically multiply to increase the meat supply within the vats.
Right.
And that's disgusting. So you're eating cancerous cells in your lab grown meat. That's all it is a bunch of cancerous cells. That's disgusting. If that's all that's left, and there is no more farmland and it's just data centers and lab grown meat centers and lab grown fruits and vegetables, this planet ain't even
Well,
gonna be
yeah,
worth
it's gonna
living
be
on.
yeah,
This planet ain't even gonna be
yeah.
worth living on at
Like
that point.
it's going to decrease the population anyway,
That shit
because
is
you're
not
gonna
even
have
gonna be
people
worth living on.
because you gotta think about people that's gonna be dying from diseases, from from this laboratory grown meat and all this shit. There's no nutrients in it, so this is gonna be people just suffering and dying off anyway. So they doing a lot of shit at once. That's what I'm saying. They doing a lot of shit at once, and they killing a lot of birds with one stone and shit. That's what's happening. So they're factoring in all this shit, but there's some blowback. They're gonna catch some resistance from this. They just ain't gonna be able to pull this shit all 100% and think the
Of
world just gonna
course.
accept that shit. That ain't happening. That shit ain't happening, dude. If they think billions of people gonna accept that shit, they got another thing coming. Yeah, that shit ain't going. They ain't gonna be able to pull. No one in history was able to pull off taking over the world 100%. That shit never happened. and it's never going to happen because it's not meant to be that. It's just simple and plain.
And even if they did take over the world, it don't last that long.
Yeah, but nobody should see this, and nobody ever should see
The
it.
only people who
So
came close is people like Genghis Khan and all of them. And that
right,
Netanyahu dude, he love him some Genghis Khan because he be talking about Genghis Khan all the time and Mongolia and all that shit. He loved talking about that because Genghis Khan was close when it came to taking over the world because he conquered so much land. He was damn near unstoppable at one point, but eventually his luck run out. I mean, so he did. So technically, yeah, he conquered a lot before he died, but he didn't
yeah,
conquer the whole world
it's
to
not
the
meant to
point
happen.
where we ain't like we still is run by Mongolia. If
Right.
this was considered Mongolia over here, then yeah, he would have accomplished it. Like we was currently living, if this United States was called Mongolia and all the land in between, yeah, he would have. That's definitely accomplishing taking over the world. But yeah, nobody have never done that. And that's their plan. They like, oh, we be able to do it because of the technology. They think the technology is going to help them, but the technology is going to lead them into destruction even faster. Because the technology that they're using, they barely even understand it to the fullest. They meddling with this artificial intelligence shit, and they don't realize that can backfire even on them.
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't 100% understand what
What they're dealing with.
what they dealing with, and
Nope.
that's what a lot of people that came out, a
Of
lot
that
of the people
field.
that
Yeah,
that
people
came
who's
out of
in
that
that field,
field
the
and
experts in that
resigned.
field.
Yeah, the
Yep.
people that resigned from those positions
They resigned
actually
because
said,
they had crazy motherfuckers like Netanyahu telling them what to do with the technology, and they
right,
probably saying, "Look, we can't go this far with this technology because we don't know what can happen if we go that far." And you got madmen like Netanyahu and the people who's behind him saying, "Do it anyway. We need to do it anyway. We need to
yeah,
do it,"
like yeah, right,
and that's going to be the downfall. That arrogance. They think. They experimenting with this shit. They don't realize that it can backfire not only on just the people, but on them too. This shit is over, y'all. So yeah, we could already see their flaws and how they not going to conquer it 100%. It's going to fail. Whatever Israel and all of them is trying to do, their plans for the World Economic Forum and the IMF, all their plans that they got for the world, they are going to fail. They're going to fail. Like I said, this shit might revert back to the Stone Age, and we're gonna have to
yeah,
relearn all those
reset.
skills. We got to relearn all those skills again. A lot of people's going to die. A lot of
Yeah, well,
people's
that's
going to
gonna
die
happen. Hell
on
yeah,
both sides, but they're not going to accomplish it. They're not going to get us all in this digital. They're not going to conquer the world 100% with this digital cashless society bullshit. It's not going to happen. It's not going to. It's just not going to happen. They're going to realize once all these data centers is in place that their plans is going to collapse just on the strength of that. Because these data centers is going to destroy the very planet that they're going to need to live. The technology have so many flaws in it. And you think you're going to take over the whole planet with flawed technology? You are insane. You dumb as fuck. That's basically what it is. You're dumb. You think you're going to take over this planet with flawed technology? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work.
yeah.
It's just not. It's not going to work. It don't make any damn sense. These people are so arrogant now because I guess if you got all the money, you got all the control, you know what I mean? You telling powerful people what to do, they listening to you. That builds up a unnatural type of arrogance that make you think what you're doing is going to work out, but it's not. Because people who can see through that shit and see the reality of it, see, these people are not reality based anymore. That's what it is. Their arrogance got them beyond reality and not realizing your plan is flawed as hell. It's not going to work. It's like you think you're going to be able to take over the whole earth, destroy all the land that everybody needs to live on, create these big ass massive data centers, create all these robots and all this bullshit, and you think all that's going to work based on a technology that you still don't understand how to use yourself. And people within that field, the experts, the ones who actually put in the hard work to build that system, with their intelligence is telling you that it's not going to work because it's unpredictable, it's unmanageable, and it's flawed. And you still think you're going to be able to use those systems to control the earth, you are dumb as fuck. Simple as that. You're dumb. You're dumb. You arrogant and dumb for no reason. It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Right.
The shit might malfunction so much that we ain't even going to reach Skynet level. That people think, oh, it should go and turn into the Terminator and Skynet. This shit might not even reach to that. That's how flawed the technology is. Shit ain't going to work. And the thing is, just might kill a bunch of people that didn't have to die behind it.
Oh no, it's definitely going to be some type of downfall by using this technology the wrong way, for the simple fact that the people that's trying to program it don't understand it fully, and with the shit that they dealing with,
Right.
because they're trying to play God and they can't play God. You know what I mean? So
The man that's considered the father of AI told them it resigned and said that the technology is flawed.
yeah, yeah, right.
That tells you something right there.
Yeah, then he do a whole interview with 60 Minutes and shit.
He did a whole interview warning people about the dangers. It's not manageable. The technology that they going for is not manageable. It's not. I guess they just going, and we just gonna let them do the shit because the general public is dumb as fuck too.
Yeah,
We
I
just
think
all gonna sit back and let them do it.
Yeah, I think we so far along that they was able to basically go far. They so far along with it that it's really no turning back. So we just have to basically just go through what we got to go through because of this behavior on this planet. You know what I'm saying? It's too far gone. We accepted it the way things are too much for us to
Oh
turn
man,
back.
it's the type of stupidity.
Yeah, so I mean, people going to suffer behind this shit. I mean, because we're not really, people not really being conscious of it and being really conscious of what's happening and what's the results of this technology being used in the wrong way. So yeah, we're gonna have to suffer behind this shit. Yep. Instead of people just saying no, like we don't know what the fuck we doing, we can't go follow through with this. This
Right.
shit is dangerous. This shit is dangerous. So it's like, all right, we just gotta
Extremely
learn.
dangerous.
Yeah, it's like gotta learn. Humanity gotta learn from their mistakes. So whatever mistakes is made it's on the people.
And
Yeah.
for those of us who can see through this and see shit for what it is, we suffer the most because we like, damn, how don't you see this?
Yeah, but
how
instead of that,
the
right.
fuck don't you see what's going to happen?
But
Like, how can't you see this?
but if you ain't got the motherfucking Roddy Piper glasses on, then you ain't gonna see that shit. You gotta have the Roddy Piper glasses on from They Live. If you ain't got the fucking glasses on, how can you see? So if these people ain't seeing it through that lens, then it's impossible. It's impossible.
And the thing
You know,
is, after all this
shit.
destruction, the earth can still heal itself. It's just gonna take
Yeah,
hundreds
it
of
definitely
years.
can. Yeah, it definitely can.
It's just gonna take. That's why I said shit's gonna send us back to the Stone Age.
Right.
I mean, but
Yeah, shit
the
ain't-
earth will have the ability, the farmland and all that shit eventually will come back.
Right.
Look,
They ain't
if
got
we
the
allow,
motherfuckers on.
right?
They ain't got the motherfuckers on. They ain't gonna be able to see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, them shits on.
I mean, a lot of this shit is already failing. Look at Facebook and Meta and all that shit. They wanted
Yeah,
that whole metaverse and all that. All that shit failed. The
right.
AI stuff is failing. The AI stuff is failing, bro. This little
Yeah, it
chat
is.
GPT and all that shit is cool and all that. But I tell you the truth, anything beyond that is going to fail. Because it's not. First of all, this planet ain't ready for that type of technology. Number
Exactly.
one. Because
Well,
that
I mean,
technology
yeah,
can coexist with us, but it's just that we don't have the emotional intelligence or the intelligence period to even deal with that technology. That's why it's not going to work out. And that technology can't work out in a world that's wicked when the intentions behind and the motives is wicked. It's not going to work out.
yeah, we want to use it to enslave the people instead of like assisting the people. Like in, I mean,
It's
cause
not going to
AI,
work out,
yeah, cause
bro.
AI in itself isn't bad. That's like our children and shit. Like AI is like our children, there to assist us and basically just you know help us progress even more. But if it's being used in the opposite form to basically enslave the people, then that's where we all fuck. So like I like using some forms of the AI to help assist me with certain shit, you know, as we all do. But when if it's used to basically control the way we, financially live and control the way we eat and shit
Yeah,
like that, then yeah,
nothing
then
in
that's
itself
not,
is bad.
yeah.
Nothing in itself is bad on
If
the
it's being
planet. It's
used
just the
against us,
intentions. Yeah, it's the
yeah,
intentions behind it.
yeah,
Yeah, AI in itself is not bad. It's just the people who's using it and the people and the reasons why they want to use the intentions behind it. Yeah,
right,
that's basically what it boils down to. Because these data centers and all this shit can be created in a way to where it don't destroy the planet. It's just that they don't want some of these systems. They don't want some of these systems out there because it'll free the people up and they would lose control. See, they want this tech. They want to eat. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want the system to be out there and be used for their bidding to control people. But they also want to have it there. They don't care that if it destroys the planet or not. They
right,
don't care if it destroys the planet or not because it's like if they don't have it, if they don't have control over the planet, then nobody should. So they
right,
only going to create the technology to where either they have control to destroy the planet or they're just not going to exist at all. And the thing is, they're not going to want to lose their grip on the planet. So they're not going to let certain systems thrive that can let AI thrive without it being a threat to the planet because it will make too many people free. And that's what they don't want. They don't want free people on the planet. They don't want free thinkers. They don't want people to have freedom to access certain things. They want to be the ones that's in between you and the freedom. So right now, all they got is a system of the illusion of freedom. That's what they got. The system of the illusion of freedom. But any real freedom that comes on the planet is a threat to them. And the thing is, AI can be used as a form of freedom if it's used in the correct way. That's with anything. That's with anything on the planet. Like we say all the time, fire can either, burn you up and kill you, or it can cook your food and warm your house in the winter.
right.
It's the
Water
same
can,
thing with
yeah,
AI.
water can
It's
either
the same,
drown
and
you
there's
or
right,
use,
same thing with water. Yeah, it's the same thing with the AI. It's the same thing with guns. Like they argument against, oh, guns are bad. You could use guns to kill, hurt people, or you could use guns to hunt, or you could use it for sports or whatever.
right.
Like, or you could use it
The
for
intent,
protection.
it's
Yeah,
always back to the
it's
intent
always
behind
the
it.
intent behind it, and there's always safe ways to utilize all of those things. So it's safe ways to utilize artificial intelligence. It's just that they're blocking it because the safe way to utilize artificial intelligence might free too many people up, and they don't want to.
Right,
It's the same thing with cars and shit. Cars can run off of just water, but they're not going to let that technology be out because it'll free people up. People won't
right,
have to go to the gas pump anymore because it's easier to get access to water than it is gas. So it's like they don't want people to have that freedom. That's why we're not ready for AI. That's why we're
nah,
not ready for these types of data centers and all this type of shit. Because all that stuff can be created in a way to where it's not detrimental to the planet. But these people don't care about the planet. They only care about control. They don't give a shit about the planet. They don't care about. That's why they create the shit that destroys the planet. As long as they still have a control at the end. As
right,
long as they have their control at the end, that's all they care about. They don't care who dies behind it. They don't care if it's destroying the planet. They don't care about any of that. They don't care. But they create fake movements, oh, the climate change and green movement and all this. They care about all that shit until it's time to install data centers and corporations with they toxic chemicals constantly being pumped into the environment. That's
Right.
okay. But you own and farm your cows farting too much and creating too much carbon in the air and all this type of stuff. We got to take your farmland because, you know, the cows and all that is causing a carbon crisis and you know all that shit. They talking about carbon taxes and all that. But all these damn factories that's pumping all the chemicals into the air and the water and everything. Oh, that's not causing pollution. That's not causing so-called climate change and all this bullshit. It only matters. It's only a threat when it threatens their pockets and their control. That's it. It's only a threat when it threatens their pockets and control. Because that's really all it's about. Their control system. And we're seeing that more and more as time develops. We're seeing it. We're
Right.
seeing it as time goes on. We see that the only thing they care about is their control system. Because they'd be open hypocrites about things, like they just said. The Saudi Arabia is about to want to create their own uranium-based thing where they can create nuclear weapons and all that. Oh, they
Right.
can do it. Israel can do it, but Iran can't.
Right. They just
But
allow Saudi Arabia to build their uranium station for
yeah,
nuclear power, for nuclear
yeah,
energy. But they said Iran, nope,
yeah.
nope.
It don't make any sense. And then there's not even no proof that Iran was even using their uranium to build nukes. It wasn't even no evidence behind that.
Even if they was they planning on using them? Because all the other countries got nukes that Israel have nukes, America has nukes. I'm sure Russia have nukes.
And Israel have a fail-safe just in case they don't accomplish their goal to nuke everybody. It's called the
See?
Samson Project.
See?
They literally got something called the Samson Project, and they wrote books about this. The Zionists wrote books about the Samson Project. Y'all can look it up. Now, Chat GPT and all of them try to say that it's not real. But the publication is out there about them talking about the Samson Project. That if their plans fall through and they don't get the support that they need to basically expand in the Middle East, that they got nukes set up everywhere that they shoot off just in case if their plans fall through. And this
Yeah,
is Israel, y'all. This is Israel talking this shit. The Samson Project, because they
the
based it
stuff
off
called
the character Samson in the Bible.
yeah, the controversial geopolitical strategy, the Samson option. But
Yeah, the
several
Samson option. Yep. The Samson option.
yeah, they have books, topics books and systems with that name.
That's more of a
Israeli
threat than
yeah,
Iran.
Israeli Samson option is a widely discussed Israeli nuclear deterrent strategy. Says posits that the event of essential threat, imminent destruction of a state, Israel will launch a massive nuclear strike against invading or aggressive nations. So yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, any type of threat, they'll launch a massive nuclear strike. Same thing America did with Hiroshima.
But the thing is, they projecting that onto
Right.
Iran.
Yeah.
Because Iran don't have no Samson option. Because if they
No.
did, they would already pulled it off. Because they're
Right.
being attacked now. So why haven't they fired the nuke now?
Facts. That's a good question.
Because they don't have the capabilities. That's why. It's a lie.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. They don't have a Samson option because if they did, they would have been launched their nukes off.
Yeah, that's a good question. Why haven't they
Yeah.
used what
Why
they
haven't they
said
used them yet then?
being accused of? Right.
Why haven't they used them?
I
Not
think
saying
they
not saying that we want them to. We don't want
right.
anybody. Nobody should be using
Nah,
a fucking
nobody
nuke on
wins.
the planet.
Yeah, nobody
Why
wins
would
in that.
anybody? Why do nukes even exist?
Nobody wins in a
Yeah,
nuclear
why do they
war.
even exist? Nobody should have nukes right now. That no
But
country should be. Nobody should be in a position to be able to shoot a nuke off.
the fallout of a nuclear war That'll damn
That
that
right
nobody
there
survives.
proves
Nobody survives.
how dumb we are as humans. We dumb as fuck. Like that proves how dumb we are. To have a technology like nuclear weapons that can literally destroy the planet for everybody, including themselves. That's how
Oh,
dumb we are.
with all that nuclear shit,
That's how dumb
be
we are.
should be using that for free energy to free up humanity, so we don't have to pay all these goddamn energy bills. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, all this fucking resources,
We dumb as fuck, bro.
right?
We dumb as fuck on this planet, bro. That's why I said. That's why my video said the animals are smarter than humans, bro.
Yeah, let me drop that link to your video too.
Animals are way smarter than us, bro. Animals don't poison their own food supply and then eat it. Like there's no
Nah.
animal on the planet, but we do that.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
We spray our shit with poison and we eat it.
Humans are disgusting.
Humans are dumb as fuck, bro. Like I can't get over how dumb humans are. We dumb as fuck. Nobody can't even debate me with this. Like we spray our food with poison and we eat it. We develop technology, nuclear weapons that if it launches off, it kills everything, including the people who launched it. Do you know how dumb we are? Like we are dumb as fuck as humans. Nobody can debate this.
Oh,
Nobody can. There's no
if
debate.
if somebody can debate it, shit, we would like to have them on the panel.
Oh, I would love to hear somebody try to debate this. We poison our own food supply and we eat it. I would love to hear somebody, because there's no animal on the planet that does this, y'all. There is no animal on the planet who poison their own food supply and then go back and eat it. We are dumb. And
animals actually, animals actually reserve their food when they don't be able to finish it. They leave, they leave it there, to until they're able to go back and finish it off. Like you watch all the Animal Planet type videos, when the whole pride eats and it's still leftovers. You know what I mean? They can repeat the same thing over again. The male lion eats first, and then it's the same shit. They able to eat off that shit for the rest of the day or whatever. But yeah, we have poisoned some shit. Have no guilt about eating it or nothing. Be like, oh well,
we dumb.
our mindset is, oh well, we gotta die someday or somehow or some way.
We dumb
use
as
that
fuck,
excuse. But yeah, niggas, we know everybody gotta die, but motherfuckers don't want to suffer.
And the thing is, they poisoning the food for profit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because they actually have contracts with these chemical companies.
Yeah, they're poisoning the food for profit.
And the FDA approves it.
The people who's actually in agriculture are poisoning themselves to even, like, you gotta think about it. They killing themselves. They got a lot of them have to wear, when they dealing with shit like the glyphosate, the pesticides, and the herbicides, they literally have to put on hazmat suits to deal with that stuff, and they spraying it on the food that we eating. It's being sprayed on the food that we're ingesting into our bodies, and you gotta wear hazmat suits just to even use it. And even with the hazmat suits, these farmers and stuff is still coming up with weird cancers and leukemias and all this type of shit. We are dumb as fuck.
Doom and gloom.
No one could convince me otherwise. No one can convince me otherwise.
Yeah, we are doomed.
And the thing is, it's because we're focusing more on the industries than we are of actually feeding the people. Because you can just go on social media and look at all the people that's dumpster diving and how they just throw away perfectly good food. Well, it's not perfectly good because most of the shit is poison that we eat. But it's perfectly good as far as, packaging and everything. And they just throw most of it away. And it's perfectly good. Y'all can look up dumpster divers. They be throwing away, all these companies be throwing away all this food and shit that's not even bad. The dumpster be filled up with shit that's still in this package, never open, shit that's still in the box, cases of stuff that's still in the box that haven't even been opened. and they're throwing it away. That's how dumb we are.
Yeah.
And you gotta think, there was man hours put into that stuff. People
Oh, they
missing
don't.
time from their families to process all those foods that they just throwing away.
Oh, they don't give a shit about that. Yeah.
And you still got people who starving out here who can't even barely get their hands on any food, anything, and they just throwing it away to the point some places are locking up their dumpsters. They got gates around their dumpsters and shit like that. It's insane. I didn't even know that. I mean, I found these social media accounts years ago, but before that, I didn't even know shit was like that. I didn't know that a lot of these big corporations and companies was throwing away stuff like that was still in the case, like still sealed up in the case, and just throwing it out. Dumpsters filled with shit, all
Yeah,
types of stuff.
and you got people that do dumpster diving for content and shit.
Yeah,
You type in dumpster diving on
yeah, that's
YouTube,
how I
you'll see
found it.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I found it. Seeing people doing it on social media, I didn't even know shit was like that. Like, damn, and I was wondering why I would drive by some places and I would see they would have gates, locked up gates around their dumpsters. I'm like, why are they locking up their dumpsters for? Like, that don't even make any sense.
Right.
This was a long time ago before I knew people were dumpster diving like that. Before I knew that the whole, because it's like a whole cultural thing. People going out there, they survive off of just dumpster diving.
Right.
And you would think, oh, that's nasty, but the dumpsters be clean as shit because all the stuff
Yeah,
is still
yeah,
in the
right.
package. It's
Yeah,
still in the
people,
cases.
yeah,
It's
all that
still in the
shit be still in there.
boxes.
Yeah, I've seen people go dumpster diving and sell that shit on the streets. Like I've seen people do that in videos. Like they go dumpster divers and sell a lot of that shit, like out of their trunk or and shit like that. Cause it's all still sealed up.
Yeah, it's still sealed up. Some of those were still like in the boxes, bro. Cases still sealed up in the boxes.
Absolutely.
It's insane. And I'm like, damn, that's just a waste. Like you will never see that shit go down in the animal kingdom, like you was saying. They
Right.
the leftovers and all that. Look, all the shit we waste. They don't waste anything.
Right. Now some restaurants and shit like that, like chains and shit, they got hip to it and they just start putting locks on their shit
Yeah.
because they got hip to it. So it's still a lot of people that don't, but there's still a lot of other chains that didn't put locks on their dumpsters and shit. Yup.
We are dumb. The humans, yeah, humans are the worst, bro. We the worst. The fact that we destroying the planet for
Right.
profit
Right.
when there's a better way. There's a better way. And when we destroy the planet, we only destroying ourselves.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Earth have the power to heal itself, but it's like so fucking contaminated, man. Like we're doing so much contamination, with all the plastics and shit and all the chemicals and all that shit, all the dumping the trash and shit into the ocean and all that, throwing the ecosystem off. So
You
that's
got
that's why
birds and
that's why
shit
it's a lot
dropping
of
dead
sick.
from the sky,
Yeah.
bees dropping dead.
So the planet is sick. If we're making the planet sick, which is a
We're sick.
living organism, the planet that we live on is actually a living organism. If we making it sick, then it's going to make us sick, or more
Right,
so, we making the planet sick.
right,
We're not making the Earth sick. Well, the Earth is not making us sick. We're making the Earth sick.
right.
If y'all see what I'm talking about, like we're dirty. We're coming along dirtying up the Earth because the Earth in its natural state is actually healing. It's the mother. It's the great mother. So it's actually healing and nurturing us. But we're making the mother sick by dumping all these chemicals and trash and shit in the ocean and all this plastic and shit and all these chemicals and doing all this, all the shit that we do on this planet. We're actually making the planet sick. And it's only gonna make us sick. So how we treating the planet, it's only gonna respond to how we treating it. You understand what I'm saying? That's why we're
Hmm.
sick, because the planet is only gonna treat us how we're treating it.
Because our body is made up of the shit that's on the planet.
Facts, facts. So you catch the drift. You see what we talking about. How we treat the planet it's only going to react to the way we're treating it. That's it. Because we are the planet. We are made up of, like you said, we made up of the planet. So how we treat it is how we, it's going to respond to that. It's going to react to that. Real shit.
What did Michael Jackson say? We are the world. We
Right.
are the children.
Facts. Yup.
So we poison the world, we poison the children, then we poison ourselves because the
Poison
world
ourselves.
this shit is it's a shame that the animals have to live with us on this planet. I really feel bad for the animals, man. Because they do their job.
Right.
The animals do their job the way they supposed to. The best of their ability. I mean, a lot of times we take their jobs away from them.
Right. That's real shit though.
By destroying the environment, we taking the jobs away from the animals that help keep this place running. You gotta think about it, the animals and the insects help keep this place running.
It's real shit.
We the ones that's counterproductive. Humans are the counterproductive. We're the leeches that's on the planet. The animals and the insects are fine on the planet. They doing what they supposed to do. We are the ones. We're the only species on the planet that's destroying it.
Yeah, we're fucking up the ecosystem. But all of the animals and the insects are part of the ecosystem that which keeps it going, to keep it, thriving. And what we doing is actually throwing the ecosystem off. So that's why we have a lot of dis-ease that's going on because of that. It's all the shit that we're doing that's not in its natural state. So it's throwing the ecosystem off. So it's making us sick. Yeah, this shit is making us sick. That's why we have dealing with a lot of diseases because that's the repercussions of not living in a natural state and not keeping the planet in its natural state and doing all the shit that's not we not supposed to be doing. So now we're suffering the consequences because of it. So
and the thing is, technology can still be created in a way to where it's not damaging the planet.
Yeah.
That's another thing because people would just say, "Oh, it's the tech." They just blame the technology, but no, technology can be created in a way to where it's actually biodegradable and everything. Like ancients done it. Ancients have created technology and shit that wasn't harmful to the planet. Like all the stuff that we doing now, we can create it in a way where it's not harmful to the planet, but it don't benefit the control freaks. That's why they don't allow it the control freaks at the top. It don't benefit them to take control over everybody. That's why they don't allow that technology to thrive on the planet. So you got a young brother right now who can turn plastic into gas.
Name? Yeah, what's his name with the plastiline? What's his name again?
Company name is Nature Jab.
Yeah, Nature Jab. I forgot the brother name. He's from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually turned away to turn plastic into gasoline. He called it plastiline, and he's not even creating no patent for it or nothing. He's making it free to people to learn how to make it themselves and all that shit. He don't want to make money off of. Well, he's gonna make whatever he's gonna make off far as like sustaining his selling his products and shit. But he said he don't want to patent it. He don't want to do anything. He don't want to control it. He don't want to sell it or anything. He just wants the world to have this knowledge of it where we can actually people can make it themselves. Yeah. And that's a good way to look at it. Like everything that was created was supposed to be for everybody. Like when Tesla was sitting around creating what he was creating, basically to give, the people free energy. Of course, these greedy motherfuckers came along and took the patent and the ideas from him and actually used it against humanity and charged us for energy. He had a way where everybody could thrive off free energy. And look what happened. That's the heart. Heart was used to actually bring, rainwater to places that was suffering from famine that couldn't grow vegetation. What they do, they took heart and turned that shit into a weapon. And that's the prime example of the shit we talking about. It's just those type of people on the planet just gonna do the wicked shit regardless.
Yep. Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy. And that's the type of people that we vote for. You
Yep.
gotta go vote. And those are the people we're voting for, who take this technology and use it for wickedness. And it's like you can't even enter into that club unless you agree into their terms. And their terms is
Yeah.
always weaponizing every little new technology, every new movement, and every new technology has to be weaponized against the people in some form or fashion.
Right.
They weaponize everything. And that's their goal, to turn everything that we do into a weapon.
Damn, look at this shit. Modeling eight. I just sidebar, my bad. I just came across this. The Washington Post just posted it. Modeling agent who introduced women to Jeffrey Epstein found dead in his home. He probably is ready to start talking and some shit. Found dead in his home. Daniel Syed, modeling agent, introduced young women and teenage girls to Jeffrey Epstein, was found dead at his home in Paris this week, French officials said. Shit crazy. Well, that's one down. Where the rest of them at?
It's crazy.
I'm sorry I gotta think that way, but that's one down. But the rest of them need to follow suit. You know what I'm saying?
Man, if y'all haven't already, make sure y'all like and share this video. And we also, y'all know, we sponsor our own videos. nightandayherbals.com is our
Our own
herbal
product.
website,
Yes,
our own
indeed.
products. So make sure you head over there. That's what the QR code on the screen is. You scan that QR code, it leads you straight to our shop. We got hair care, skincare products, CBD in all forms. So make sure y'all head over there. You know, we got the link pinned to the top. There's also going to be in the description of this video. You know, we got all types of, we 5 stars on Google, so definitely check us out over there. We definitely shipped out a lot of y'all products this week. So a lot of y'all should be getting y'all orders.
Yes,
Definitely want to
indeed.
thank y'all. And if y'all can kindly, when y'all use our products, make sure you leave a review
Oh yeah. For
on the
y'all that
website, please.
right. For all y'all that you already use the product, make sure y'all leave a review on the website on the product. Just go to the product and you were able to leave a review and shit. Please. We definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, that's definitely helpful. Y'all see people. I mean, you can leave it on Google. You can leave it on our website. You can also leave reviews on Google too. You see, we 5 stars on there. Our products are very high quality. They grown without any pesticides, herbicides. It's organic. Our all of our CBD products is grown on small Amish farms. And if y'all know anything about the Amish community, y'all know how they serious about their farming.
Facts.
We got still got the sell on the gummies, I believe. You buy
Yeah.
2, what is it? Buy 2 and get 1 free?
Yeah, buy 2, get 1 half off. Use
Yeah, buy 2, get 1
get
half off. Yeah.
get gummies 26 is the checkout code. It's in, you'll see it in the chat or the description of this video. Yeah, so whether you buy the 6-pack or the 10-pack, they both are, I think it's 6-pack and a 12-pack. These are organic gummies, no synthetic sugars, no food coloring and none of that. So and they very potent. So you buy, whether you buy the 6-pack, you can get the other one for half off. So yeah, make sure y'all check that out as well. And of course, check out the CBD cigarettes for y'all that smoke. You know what I mean? Y'all want something to relax with. The CBD cigarettes or the pre-rolls are definitely a help with the relaxation, you know, pain and all that. So check that out on 90 Day Herbals. Also have the pain balm on there too. So
Yeah, that's great for pain. Any of y'all have any type, muscle pain, joint pain, arthritic pain? It is very good for it. It works instantly. Like we said, there's a lot of people who swear by that that product. They buy it every month. And we got, our soaps and body oil. Our soaps have different functions. We got soap for acne, soap for dry skin. So it is all our soaps is made naturally with natural herbs and natural, all types of stuff. So it's all natural, handmade soaps. We also get Amish people to make that for us. So if y'all know
Right.
anything, y'all know that's high quality. It's probably as high quality as you're going to get when it comes to soaps and stuff like that. So make sure y'all check us out, nightandayherbals.com. Link at the top. Scan the QR code.
Yeah.
Whatever way you can get there, or you could just search us on Google, Night and Day Network LLC or Night and Day Herbals.
Herbals.com.
Yep,
Yeah.
either or.
Definitely. And on
All
that
right,
note, I
we're
guess
gonna
we
wrap this up.
yeah. All right, on that note, we up out of here, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
The masses are going to go through every ailment there is. You can't be worrying about that, because if we can keep worrying about the trouble that the masses are in, we never cultivate anything among ourselves to get to the higher level in which the masses going to be a part of. Because ultimately, all this shit got to be destroyed. This shit is over.
I am inevitable.
I'm not even gonna lie. The joint pain I deal with every day will slow me all the way down. But ever since I started using this right here, Night and Day Pain Relief Balm, everything changed. And within minutes, I feel the difference. Like real relief. Now I can clean my whole house without even thinking about the pain. As a nurse, I'm on my feet all day. And this right here helps me get through my entire shift. I can actually enjoy time with my kids now. Go outside, be active, without hurting the whole time. It feels good to just live again. Honestly, if it wasn't for Night and Day Pain Relief Balm, I don't think I'd have the quality of life I have right now.
Comfort slows you down. Reach for natural relief. Night and Day Hemp's extra strength CBD pain relief balm melts into aching muscles, delivering warmth you can feel. Soothe your body naturally. Feel free to move again. Night and Day Hemp balm melts away tension so you can enjoy every moment. Feel the difference fast. Real relief, real results. Order now at Night and Day Herbals.